Hello, Linda. This is Josiah Vincent doing my final journal entry for Transformational Leadership. Hope the lighting's not too bad. The sun's coming straight in on me, and I'm in my new apartment with my girlfriend. She's behind me there. Hopefully that won't be a distraction. Going ahead and talking about the questions that you posed for Transformational Leadership, kind of a summary of what we've discussed. What are the important transformational leadership qualities to me? I go ahead and define my transformational leadership qualities as being very visionary, for an almost obvious statement, but I really try to focus a lot on the vision of the organization and the vision of where we're going with our projects. My dad's always had a saying that goes like this: you have to have a dream before you can have a dream come true. And I think that's very important to embody whenever we're dealing with our colleagues and we're working on a project that can affect a lot of people outside of our organization, clients and diffuse effects from what we do to other industries and organizations. It's very important for us to have a high quality product and do the job really well. Along the way, I like to remind people of how great they can be and how good of a job they can do. So when there is a failure in the organization, it's very important for me personally to make sure that person knows that it's not their job on the line. It's not something for them to be afraid of. It's not something for them to doubt themselves more, because that just causes a cyclical effect for them that just makes their job worse and worse. I want to make sure that they know what their adversaries really are, what the problems are in the project they're working with, and how these obstacles can be overcome. I want to work with them. I want them to know I'm on their side, I'm on their team, and we're going to work together to get through a lot of really rough times. And in the U.S. right now, we're dealing with a lot of those really rough times. So I've learned from some of my management, some of the managers I had there, about how they can really do that, how they can instill that confidence, instill that feeling in their employees. And those are the companies who are surviving. Those are the ones who are succeeding. And it was really great learning from some of those leaders. The key ingredient there is that as we tackle projects, I want to make sure that everyone knows that every time we do that, we can become better at it. Each time we tackle the same project, every time we make a move that's similar to something we've done before, we need to make sure we do it better than the last time and continually get better. And that's there's no status quo. The only status quo is to be better than last time, and that's part of my leadership quality. That's how I feel that an organization can go to the next level and can be a better organization. If there isn't, then they're not going to stay the same. There's no true status quo. There's numbers that stay the same, but the quality will decrease if we're not always looking to get better. And that's just the same with any real life product. As time goes on, the quality of it changes. You have a car, the more you drive it, sure, it drives the same speed every time, but regardless of the same speed, you're wearing it down and it's degrading. And over time, it will degrade to the point where it can no longer run. And it will seem almost very sudden. There'll be some small signs, but it will seem almost very sudden. So the way to do it is to always be improving the car and always be upkeeping it and always be making it better and faster. You can't really do that in real life, because if you make it too fast, that's not street legal. So hopefully we don't get too fast that our company is not street legal anymore. But if that happens, I don't know if that's possible. Maybe happened to Alcoa back in the U.S., but rare exceptions. So we will move on to the next question that you had posed for us. If we were to choose a type of leader we could hire and to report to, and given the opportunity to select that person, describe them. So the kind of leader that I would really like to have is someone who deeply knows the feeling of satisfaction and really enjoys that as much as anything, but simultaneously has an insatiable appetite for success. That's the kind of leader that would not necessarily get out of bed every day expecting to see the office flustered and noisy and everybody doing something and everything just going mad just so they can see it and feel satisfied that way. They want to make sure that that's truly success. So if the office is flustered, maybe that's too much pressure for everyone, and that's not actually giving us the best product. Someone who is farsighted, someone who can see beyond just the sounds and just their form. They can see the numbers, and they can see things pretty deeply on a managerial level. They can see things so you can see the projections and they can see the attitudes of people in sort of a socio-behavioral way that goes beyond just normal indicators around the office. And they wouldn't get bothered by that either. They wouldn't get bothered by the flustering or it being too quiet. They would want to make sure that everyone is doing what they need to do, and not necessarily micromanagement. They would just need to make sure that people are succeeding. And the way they would know this is by the numbers, and making sure that everyone meets the projections. So when they see those, I would expect that, and when they see everyone meeting the numbers, I would expect a kindness and a support from the leader. And consequently, when we're not making those, when we have the failure, I want them to make sure that it's. I would like them to have it feel as if they're telling us that it's their personal obligation, that it's their failure for not being able to get us there. And in that way, I can expect that we will do better next time. Not just because I want to do better, because I know that I want to do better, and I want them to know that I know that I want to do better. But I want but I want them to feel as though that it's all of us in it. So there is not that fear of our jobs on the line when we make a mistake or we make a failure. That there is that feel of how can we make this work? How can we come together? And how can we improve? And how can we do better and continue to do better? And I want them to be on our side the whole time. I would never want to have a leader who separates us, who splits the sides and who splits the borders and tells people that they're the bad people and they're the good people, and that keeps people apart. And that would just totally cuts down on productivity. It totally cuts down on our ability to be innovative with ideas and our ability to just continually get better and just innovative with just even the small tasks. So for me, that's the most important thing, is being able to have that room. So that's someone who would keep me on. That's someone who would keep me to stay there. On the inverse would be someone who would be burdensome and micromanaging, and someone who would get on our case about small things that didn't affect output directly. Those are the kind of people that would make me want to leave the organization. And through all the rough times, the kind of person who I'd want to work with, through all the rough times, they would always be on our side. They would just definitely always be on our side. And those are some of the most important qualities for me to have from another leader. And I think that's all I had to say about it. This is a pretty fun assignment, good brainstorming, and I will see you at I think 6 o'clock for our presentations on our proposals. Great. Thanks, Linda. Bye.